wicked cause he swore to take her life. Till you're gone, one more round, till you're gone. Woo! The first time he shot her, he shot her in her side. The second time he shot her, she bowed down and died. Till you're gone, one more round, till you're gone. Tell him, Stevie, come on. They sent for the doctor.
What do you got on?
He came dressed in black. He did everything a doctor could do,
Nothing gonna happen.
but he couldn't bring Cordelia back. Till you're gone, one more round, till you're gone. That's it. Do it. Monday, Tony was arrested. Tuesday, he was tried.
On the chicken, boy.
The jury then brought him guilty. The judge said 99 years is your time. Till you're gone, one more round, till you're gone. Ah, that's right. Hey!
Solo that thing. Woo! Nothing like nothing. That's right, that's right.
Man, you know what Tony told the judge? 99 years in prison.
That's enough.
Judge, that ain't no time.
Say what?
I got a brother in Foxing
I got a cousin.
doing 990 or 9. Till you're gone, one more round, till you're gone. Ah, boy. Not Tony to the jailhouse,
On the jail, boy.
drinking out of a silver cup.
Got it, got ya.
While Cordelia's in the graveyard,
Hold on.
trying to dug on his best to get up. Till you're gone, one more round, till you're gone. Listen up. Last night I heard a
I
rumbling
got a two.
down under the ground. It must have been the old devil trying to chain Cordelia down. Till you're gone. One more.
Tonight, one of the country's oldest trade unions bows out of the 2025 Labor Day parade. Also, the nation's leader tight-lipped on a new investigation into another alleged corrupt police officer. And later, women are at the forefront agitating for resources to support recently enacted domestic violence laws. Eyewitness News starts now.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Janelle Longley, and thanks for joining us. Off the top tonight, a SpaceX Starship test flight is set to launch Tuesday evening. Ahead of its flight, government is advising the Bahamian public that this launch is not part of the formal agreement between the government of the Bahamas and the SpaceX for the return and recovery of Falcon 9 first stage boosters within Bahamian maritime territory. In the statement, officials explained that this will mark the 9th test flight of the Starship launch system, which forms part of SpaceX's ongoing development of next-generation space transportation. According to SpaceX, the planned flight trajectory of this Starship is several 100,000 feet above Bahamian airspace and therefore does not require approval of Bahamas authorities. This public advisory also follows the suspension of SpaceX launching its Falcon 9 boosters in Bahamian aerospace, while the Department of Environmental Planning and Protection are still currently reviewing the environmental impact assessment report following the failed SpaceX rockets that sent debris raining down in Bahamian waters back in March. It's a story we are continuing to follow. Also, is politics taking over the labor movement? Well, National Congress of Trade Union Bahamas President Obi Ferguson seems to think so, and he's not holding back on this stance. Ferguson is now threatening to boycott this year's Labor Day parade, accusing the Davis administration of turning its back on the working class. Now, in a fiery rebuke, Ferguson says the government has failed to deliver on promises laid out in a memorandum of understanding signed when the Davis-led PLP was still in opposition. The union says workers feel abandoned. A trade union is ready to take a stand.
They know if I lie, and they know if politicians lie. Twice the minister said 90-something% of what's on the MOU has been completed. Well, you can complete some of the most important people in the country to look after my wealth, my health, and your health. You're fighting for over 4 years to give them a basic contract. And we say we are interested in Bahamas? And what are we doing for Bahamas? What are you doing for Bahamas? You're not providing them with a sensible salary. You're not providing them with a health and care. Affiliates will not be a part of no march. What are you marching for? You gotta fight to get what you got. You talking about march? We're gonna celebrate Surrender Folks Labor Day. We can celebrate it right down on Wolf Road. In that dilapidated building, we can go right there.
In other news, Prime Minister Philip Davis remaining tight-lipped when asked for comment on another police officer who is on administrative leave pending a probe that looks into leaked audio recordings that have once again ignited widespread concern about rogue officers. The recordings tie the policeman to what appears to be a covert operation. Now, the Davis administration has taken decisive steps to address incidents involving officers whose alleged actions have been deemed woeful to the organization's reputation. Meanwhile, today, Davis suggested that the investigation must take its course.
That's under investigation by the police. No further comment on that.
Also in news, on the heels of a trade report which revealed that the total value of commodities imported in country in 2024 has increased by 15% when compared to 2023. Prime Minister Philip Davis says it's another reminder that the country's economy is thriving. His comments come as the Bahamas National Statistical Institute reported that the increase went from $4.2 billion to $4.9 billion. The trade deficit increased from $3.4 billion in 2023 to $4.2 billion in 2024. During that report, it was also revealed that the United States remained the country's leading trade partner. Now, Davis's comments come as the previously touted his administration's willpower to significantly reduce the country's import bill, particularly as it relates to food items. The trade report notes that food and annual imports are the second largest contributors.
We are still a consumptive society. The fact that the increase of imports are up speaks to how well the economy is doing. If we need to import more, it means that we need more. We need more. Why? Because the economy is working and people are working, and that's what we need.
In news from the crime beat, a 21-year-old male is lying in hospital following a stabbing incident that occurred in Garden Hills on Saturday night. According to early reports, the altercation happened shortly after 10 p.m. between two men. During the confrontation, one of them was allegedly stabbed. The injured man was rushed to the hospital where he remains in stable condition. Meanwhile, an 18-year-old male is currently in police custody and is assisting with the investigation. Police on the island of Andros are also investigating a fatal traffic accident that occurred early Saturday morning. According to initial reports, the incident happened shortly after 2 a.m. in the Driggs Hill area of South Andros. When officers arrived at the scene, they found an unresponsive man, a damaged motorcycle, and a utility pole. Emergency medical teams were called, but the man showed no vital signs of life and was pronounced dead. Also in news tonight, members of a bipartisan human rights committee are renewing their concerns about what is believed to be a key component in the fight against gender-based violence. Officials say more needs to be done, and it's more than simply passing a piece of legislation. Our Jose Etienne has more in this report.
The Protection Against Violence Commission has yet to be launched, nearly 2 years after the Davis administration passed legislation to establish it. Now, Deputy Chair of the Parliamentary Human Rights Commission, Senator Michaela Barnett Ellis, is calling for urgency.
We have not received an explanation for the delay as of yet, but we are continuing to push. We fully expect that they will implement the commission, and we have started to make intervention and make inquiries because that comes within the remit.
At the same time, women's rights activist Alicia Wallace didn't hold back, criticizing what she called grave inaction by the government on an issue that she says demands immediate attention.
It is quite telling that although this administration has pushed through the Protection Against Violence bill, is completely failing to implement it and to follow its own guidelines, the bill that it drafted for itself and pushed through instead of the marital rape bill, instead of the gender-based violence bill.
But Senator Dr. Aricia Hepburn, a member of the committee, says implementing the body shouldn't be a difficult task and believes it can be done with strategic effort.
We hope this to be one of our low-hanging fruits, just to give a nudge to get the committee formed and started and off the ground.
Government, meanwhile, has defended the passing of the bill as a sign of its zero-tolerance approach to violence against women. Still, though, activists say this wasn't the outcome.
We at Equality Bahamas never accepted the Protection Against Violence bill as sufficient or even near to what we need. We have maintained our position that the gender-based violence bill is what we need.
Nonetheless, government officials remain adamant about the legislation's potential, which promises to support victims, improve public education, facilitate coordination with police in cases of poor cooperation, and recommend a national strategic plan to combat violence. Jose Etienne, Eyewitness News.
The summer season is right around the corner, and so is expected to be a busy tourist season. Well ahead of the ramp-up, Eyewitness News questioned Director General Latia Duncombe about the Ministry of Tourism's plan to ensure the safety of thousands that will flock to our shores for the summer months. This as there have been several incidents that impacted tourists on the island and in some cases raised fears and concerns. Most recently, the robbery of 2 American nationals in a parking lot near Potter's Key Dock last week.
The Bahamas is a warm, safe, and welcoming destination. And as a country and as a ministry, we've always extended hospitality to all of our visitors when they come to our shores. And we will continue to do that. And so we'll all work together to make sure that every visitor experience is an immersed, enriched experience where we share our culture, our history, our heritage, and that'll inspire our visitors to return again and again to the islands of the Bahamas.
Now, following that recent robbery of 2 American tourists near Potter's Key Dock and the drowning of an American visitor, Denary McElmont, an incident his family suspects is was murder. Concerns about tourist safety in the Bahamas have increased amid rising visitor numbers. Director General Latia Duncombe reassured visitors tourists should not be scared. But the question still remains, is tourist safety at risk in the Bahamas? We turn to social media to get public input on the matter. You were asked, what are your thoughts on the state of tourism and safety in the Bahamas? Some called for a permanent police presence in tourist areas to deter crime, viewing it as a necessary short-term measure. Also noting that while tourists are generally safe, increased police visibility in key areas could enhance their sense of security. Others emphasize the need to tackle deeper issues like the high cost of living, low wages, and poor discipline in schools, factors that contribute to long-term crime. In other news, members of the Parliamentary Human Rights hosting their first press conference today after meeting with over 30 representatives from government agencies, departments, and civil society organizations that serve vulnerable communities in the country. The bipartisan group, however, says there are several outstanding concerns that they hope will be remedied from a legislative and policy standpoint. This as opposition Senator Michaela Barnett Ellis, who serves as the committee's deputy chair, says they're committed to presenting recommendations that will advance the rights and dignity of those who are vulnerable in society.
We continue to hear concerns regarding the long-standing gaps in accessibility. Promised transportation initiatives remain unrealized, and legal reforms to support accessible driving and enforce parking protections are still pending. Additionally, many public spaces, including those in high-traffic tourist areas, are not equipped to accommodate individuals with mobility challenges. These are issues that deserved renewed attention. Healthcare access for vulnerable groups. We see opportunities to strengthen the healthcare framework, particularly for older persons, through better integration of services and the introduction of patient advocates and care managers. There are also inconsistencies in the legal framework around healthcare consent, which can create barriers for teenage mothers and emancipated youth.
Meanwhile, Labor and Public Service Minister Pia Glover-Roll are asserting that government is aware of the issues affecting residents that came across the committee's attention, noting while government has several legislative reform priorities.
Consultations over the past few months have made it clear that there is a severe shortage of trained human resources across our social services landscape. In response, the committee will recommend key interventions to support recruitment and training of additional social workers and crisis specialists to manage the growing demand for family support and intervention services, the expansion of child protection unit to reduce unmanageable caseloads and to improve the timeliness and sensitivity of responses for vulnerable children. The introduction of educational grants and directed career pathways to encourage more Bahamians to explore and pursue professions in social work and child welfare. We believe that these measures are a critical step toward building a more inclusive, equitable, and compassionate Bahamas, where every citizen has access to the support they need to thrive. To ensure that these considerations take place, we have to ensure that legislative reforms take place.
Time is now winding down for Prime Minister Philip Davis's budget communication in the lower chamber. That's set to be delivered on Wednesday. Now, government officials have said in anticipation of the communication that it's one that will continue to provide relief for residents. Well, tonight, President of the Bahamas Teachers Union, Belinda Wilson, has a litany of expectations that she hopes will be taken into consideration in this year's budget, arguing that her members are more than deserving of what is being demanded.
Salary increases for educators and by extension all civil servants, as many industrial agreements expire on June 30th, 2025, which is next month. Funding for professional development and training, funding for in-service awards and grants for teachers, teachers' aides, guidance counselors, librarians who are already in the service but are looking for opportunities to attain higher qualification and education. We've been waiting for a very long time for a new school for Inagua Comprehensive School, Georgetown Primary School, and it's actually the 9th year since the Holmes's Rock Junior High School has been under construction. So I hope that funding has been allocated for the completion of that school.
Well, Minister of Economic Affairs Michael Halkitis is also joining the conversation regarding the upcoming budget debate. He's assuring the public that there will be no new tax increases on the horizon. The Prime Minister, he says, will share key success from various ministries and an outlined plan for the administration for the upcoming fiscal calendar.
There has been, over the last 4 years, there's a lot of, chatter about taxes, and this government, this administration took the position from the very beginning, even before coming to office, that we were better served by reducing taxes, not raising taxes. And the proof has been in the pudding. We've reduced VAT from 12% to 10%, and then we went further during this last mid-year budget to reduce it on food, all food, from 10% to 5%. Customs duties, progressively reducing those from coming to office. And so we believe that we are better served, not only in terms of helping to reduce the cost of living, but in promoting economic growth if we have an environment where you're reducing taxes. Our stance has been, let's do a better job of collecting what's outstanding from those who owe and have the ability to pay, and then we can lower. So there's no new taxes, no increases in taxes. As a matter of fact, we can look forward to continued relief for the public.
Now, Minister Halkitis says that one of the key focuses of the upcoming budget will be trade. He says this comes amid concerns over trade disputes. He reassured that the government remains dedicated to balancing growth with fiscal responsibility. As the budget gets closer, all eyes will be on how these trade policies and economic strategies will shape the country's financial future.
Particularly, what has been on the mind of people is the tariff policy coming out of the U.S. and how that will affect global trade. How will that affect us? What that means for us in terms of our public finances. And so we'll have that discussion. But I think all in all, bottom line, it would be an update on where we've come so far, what we project. And I think, the government is encouraged by the performance. But we also recognize that there's a lot of work left to be done. Things like the cost of living are still at the forefront on the minds of Bahamians, and we continue to explore ways that we can impact that in a positive way. And so during the course of the debate, you'll hear more about the energy reform and how we expect those savings that people are experiencing to continue. I know there has been some discussion about whether it's only a temporary fall, so we'll be able to delve more into that, more into how the government intends to grow the economy continually, investment in infrastructure, healthcare, etc. So the communication is the update and the forecast, and then during the course of the debate over the next 3 weeks, you would get an opportunity to hear from all of the ministers on what they're doing and what they plan to do.
Parents of the Clara E. Evans Primary School on Andros held a protest standing in solidarity after an investigation was launched into a teacher at the institution following an Eyewitness News exclusive last Wednesday. Parents called for action to be taken against the staff following a reported firearm threat after an argument with another colleague. Parents also claimed the teacher mishandled students frequently, citing unprofessional and hostile behavior, alleging that the environment is not safe for their children. Now, during the protest, parents lined up on the outside of the school, making it clear the action they hope education officials will take.
They, on one accord, for one purpose and one purpose alone. Yes. Our sign says, our kids' safety matters. It does. Yes. Every parent that has a child knows what it feels like when their child's life is in danger. Yes. And right now, the parents that stand behind me and those that are on their way feel the same. Yes. We stand here united, and we will not take no for an answer. Got to go. Got to.
Well, Own Bahamas is at it again, giving back to the community in a big way. The organization hosted a free content creation masterclass at the University of the Bahamas, featuring executives from CapCut and Canva. Dozens of Bahamian content creators flocked to the university campus to glean from the experts. Our Linton Ritchie Jr. has the details.
Sharpening editing skills, increasing visibility, and understanding your audience. Those were some of the primary focuses at a 2-day content creation bootcamp offered free of charge courtesy of Own Bahamas. Participants gathered on the University of the Bahamas campus for a rigorous training session geared toward both veteran and aspiring content creators. Leading the sessions, co-founder of Maricamp, Pierre Narchi, who shared with Eyewitness News what he hopes participants will take away.
Show them there are so many opportunities, right? And the wide ranges of opportunities that exist out there in terms of content creation. You don't have like one type of content creation strategy.
The bootcamp also focused on artificial intelligence and its influence on the digital landscape. Founder of Own Bahamas, His Excellency Sebastian, underscored the importance of keeping Bahamians up to speed with emerging technology.
To ensure that nobody loses their job to artificial intelligence. They take the artificial intelligence jobs and they stay ahead of the curve.
And for participants, here's how they say the tools taught will transform their productivity.
With the tools that we have, I think it's important that we equip ourselves as much as possible. It really opened my mind to different things that I can do with my talent.
Those skills, you'll find that God is able to take that thing to the next level.
I create content on social media, and it just seemed like an event that I could learn a lot from.
As this chapter closes for these creatives, Bastian says the skills learned should elevate everyone involved.
You could know of the tools and you could be using the tools, but you might not be maximizing the true potential of the tools. How would you know if you've never taught every single thing?
And when it's all said and done, attendees walked away with these final words.
Thank you to Own Bahamas for this opportunity and to open my mind to CapCut and Canva.
It's free, informative. I'm always looking to learn something new.
It's been good so far, and I look forward to the rest of it and any future event.
I would encourage others to take advantage of the tools that are available here.
All participants received a certificate of completion, having mastered tools like CapCut, Canva, and the use of AI in content creation. Linton Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
Well, if you've got a news tip or you've seen news in the making, call the Eye on News hotline at 397-6397. And we are also inviting you to send your letters to the editor for publication on all of our social media platforms at eyewitnessnewsbahamas@gmail.com. And if you're watching on our Facebook or YouTube pages, share your thoughts about today's top stories in the comments section. We want to hear from you. Still to come in Eyewitness News tonight, Bahamas striping is making roads just a little bit safer in communities. And later, the Junior Achievement Bahamas is celebrating their members in a very special way. We've got more on those stories coming up right after this break.
While others see customers as numbers, we see our customers as people, neighbors, friends who deserve more than one-sided connections. That's why we are redefining what real connection is, by prioritizing our customers and showing our appreciation by putting our money where your loyalty is. BTC customers, claim your $200 Bahamas Air gift card when you add postpaid mobile to your internet plan. That's loyalty that flows both ways.
No. This one? No. Hey, look, KFC has an incredible promo.
I already had that for lunch.
Oh.
Crunch your hunger cravings and satisfy the whole family with KFC bucket meals starting at just $20. Get freshly prepared golden fried chicken, buttery biscuits, and add your favorite large sides. Bucket meals starting at just $20. KFC, finger licking good.
As a healthcare professional, you dedicate your life to caring for others. But even with the best care, legal challenges can arise. Protect your practice and your peace of mind with medical malpractice insurance from Star General. At Star General, we've partnered with Lloyd's of London to bring you comprehensive professional liability insurance designed specifically for those consulting or practicing privately. Visit our website today so you can focus on what you do best, caring for your patients, while we take care of the rest. Star General, insurance made simple.
We're all in this boat together. It takes a team to do it. It doesn't take one person or 3 people, 5 people. It takes a team of people to pull this thing off.
We have about 72 employees in Freeport, and the rest are in Nassau, Abelkona, Luthra, a total of over 165.
A lot of people are not aware that Sans is brewed here in the Bahamas. It's made, it's produced, here in Grand Bahama Island. After Dorian, and especially during the pandemic, every time I saw a bottle of beer, every time I saw a Sands product, it represented resilience.
The only thing I can say to the Bahamian people is to support your own.
All of us are in this boat together, our staff, the country, everyone. And we've been through a lot of rough patches, taken on water, bailed the water out, and now it's time to be sailing forward. And we need everyone's support to make that happen.
This segment of Eyewitness News is brought to you by EV Motors. It's your last chance to get behind the wheel and drive the evolution. Secure the Toyota BZ4X, Mercedes-Benz EQB 260, Carry Cargo Van, or Carry Elephant X7 truck with prices starting as low as $309.88 per month. Hurry before they're gone. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back. Here's a look at your Eyewitness News gas tracker. Gas at Esso gas station at $5.43, at the Rubis gas station $5.55, and at Shell gas station $5.46. This is Eyewitness News. Welcome back. The Bahamas Steering Committee will be hosting 12 delegates of the Caribbean-Canada Leaders Dialogue over the next few days. The group is part of an initiative dedicated to shaping the next generation of leaders through cross-cultural exchange and immersive learning. This year's theme is diversity, inclusion, and equity. Delegate leader Dr. Cornelia Walter Jones, who hails from Jamaica, outlined the important role the Bahamas will play in this initiative.
Our trip here is to look at what is happening in the beautiful island of Bahamas, look at the policies that you have, and look at how we can learn and bring back some of the knowledge that you have and expertise that you have, and initiate those changes in our communities. Very excited to be here, your beautiful island. Also, we are seeing culture, we are seeing responsibility, we're seeing that you have sustainable ways, we're seeing the science, we're seeing your recycling, we are seeing everything that you see that you're offering that has been initiated and seen in the community.
Now, the group is expected to look into several areas, including diversity and inclusion, sustainability and innovation, ethics, impact, collaboration, and advocacy. Walter Jones explained how each sub-theme looks different in each Caribbean country.
What we have found is that DEI for Bahamas and Jamaica and the Caribbean, it looks very differently for us as the Caribbean, as it relates to the other islands and the other countries. DEI in terms of diversity in thinking, the way of thought. We have seen where our islands and our countries have been making waves in advocacy, and policies are changing in terms of, for example, in Jamaica, we are just getting on to know the inclusion of disability, physical disability, which is like the wheelchairs. Now we're moving a step further to look at persons who have different type of abilities that you cannot see, whether it's mental health. We have seen where programs are being initiated and started, and clinics are opening for mental health, which is a very big deal.
A memorandum of understanding signed today between the Davis administration and local company Sustainable Technology Limited. Officials say it paves the way for the development of hydroponic farms throughout the country. Agriculture Minister Jomo Campbell asserts that this signing is a reflection of the government's commitment to addressing the food insecurity that remains a lingering threat to small island nations. The project will take shape on islands such as Grand Bahama, New Providence, Abaco, Andros, and Cat Island.
This MOU is more than just a symbolic gesture. It is a framework for action. It lays the groundwork for the establishment of a network of small farms across our archipelago. Farms that use less water, require less land, and produce crops year-round. It will also enable knowledge transfer, skill building, and training programs that empower Bahamians to become leaders in the future of farming. And it will also facilitate the integration of advanced technologies such as artificial intelligence and IoT systems into our agricultural landscape, bringing precision, efficiency, and scalability to food production like never before. We expect an increased production of food through this project with the cultivation of crops such as leafy greens, herbs, tomatoes, and yes, Prime Minister, even okras.
Prime Minister Philip Davis was also on hand for the signing ceremony, asserting that government is maximizing opportunities to withstand global shocks while also making the country self-sufficient.
When you can grow year-round, products and produce will always be available to our people. And think about it, the buzzword is food security. And it's important today because as the geopolitical issues engulf us, we as a small island developing state has to be in a position to say that we are food secure. Remember 9/11? And then we were about a week away from being unable to feed ourselves because everything was shuttered. Remember the pandemic? Everything again was shuttered, and we were scrambling to ensure that we were able to feed ourselves. With initiatives such as what we have here today, assures us that we are well on the way to ensuring that those events, if they occur again, we need not to be so concerned about the risk of us being unable to eat.
And still to come in Eyewitness News, we've got a new queen. Meet Miss Universe Bahamas and hear her vision for representing the nation on the global stage. That's coming up, but first, here's a check on tonight's weather forecast.
On a budget, pinching pennies, need to save? Shop the specials at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Best value whole kernel corn, 15 ounces, 99 cents. Distinction long like whole milk, 1 liter, 2 for $3. Hellmann's mayonnaise, 30 ounces, $6.69. Whole chicken wings, $1.79 per pound. Case price, $54.99. Red Seedless grapes, $2.99 per pound. Your favorites on special every day at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Hi, I'm Melissa, and I'm a survey enumerator with the Bahamas National Statistical Institute, or BNSI. For the next few months, we will be conducting the Household Expenditure Survey on various islands.
You might be wondering, why is this survey important? Well, it helps us to determine the poverty line and assess how to ensure everyone has access to the basic services they need. This information is used by the government, businesses, researchers, and students to make informed decisions and plan for the future. We know that your time is valuable, which is why we've made the survey as simple and easy as possible. And don't worry, all your information you provide is confidential.
Your participation will help us gather accurate information that will benefit everyone in the Bahamas. Thank you for your cooperation and being a part of shaping the future of the Bahamas.
Ready to insure your ride? Our new website is ready for you. Visit jsjohnson.com. Select coverages, go to Motor, and click Get a Quote. We've made it easier than ever to request a quote online. Fill in all the required fields. When you're done, hit Submit. You'll receive a response via email within 24 hours. Visit jsjohnson.com today.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
This is Eyewitness News. Welcome back. Junior Achievement Bahamas celebrating outstanding individuals within the organization in a grand way last weekend on board a Royal Caribbean cruise ship. Our Linton Ritchie Jr. was there.
Scores of high school students within the Junior Achievement Bahamas organization recognized for their outstanding performance within the club's calendar year on board Royal Caribbean's Utopia of the Seas. From Most Distinguished Officer to Company of the Year and Most Distinguished Achiever, a number of individuals walked away with cash scholarship prizes, medals, and plaques. But the highly anticipated award of the evening, Most Distinguished Achiever, was an historic one, as for the first time in the organization's history, it went to two achievers, Fawn Johnson Jr. and Marcus Nabi. Both of the young men elated about their success.
Jay is an environment where you build up each other.
It's truly a surreal moment for me.
Both 12th graders, Johnson Jr. of Queens College and Nabi of Temple Christian, recalling what they describe as a challenging yet rewarding journey.
Learning stuff about entrepreneurship and meeting new people, just building your networking skills as well.
This is the one award that completely missed me every year.
But the ceremony wasn't just an award show. The official changing of the guard was on the agenda as Jay welcomed the new chairman, Devine Bowe, who replaced Philip Simon. Bowe telling Eyewitness News his love for the organization began over 15 years ago. And here's what's on his agenda.
We just need to grow it. We need to get being more involved with a lot more schools, reach out to our partners in the public and private sector.
But for the outgoing chairman, Simon says he hopes to still serve the organization, but in a different capacity.
Certainly, I will always be a supporter of Junior Achievement Bahamas. It's in my blood. It's in my family.
Among the organization was first-time sponsoring firm and JA company LDG Tridents. Former achiever and founder Lincoln Deal says while it was the group's first time around, he hopes all 60 members gain the lessons taught.
We talked about business principles, how to start a business, how to write a business plan, how to prepare financials.
As for the two that came out victorious among the organization,
in the University of the Bahamas for 2 years, and I plan to major in law and criminal justice.
To start my pilot license because I want to become a pilot, but I also want to study airport management, as well as I'm studying political science because I want to be a politician myself.
Now, while that wraps up the Junior Achievement 2024-2025 year, officials say they will be back in the schools following the summer break, welcoming new and returning achievers. Linton Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
A special congratulations to all of those achievers. Well, the spotlight was on beauty, brains, and Bahamian pride as a new Miss Universe Bahamas was crowned last evening. The dazzling ceremony brought glitz, glamour, and fierce competition. But only one woman walked away with the title and the chance to represent the Bahamas on the world stage in Thailand later this year. Our Laurencia Smith has more.
Our winner of the Miss Universe Bahamas 2025, Maliba!
That was the moment 24-year-old Malika Miranda Bowe of Grand Bahama was crowned Miss Universe Bahamas 2025 in the front of her family and friends, a moment she describes as living an answered prayer.
Of course, it's the most exciting thing. This is what I dreamed for. This is what I hoped for, prayed for. So I am living in an answered prayer right now. But to be able to take it back to Grand Bahama, I think they will all be so proud.
Bowe beat out 9 other contestants for the crown after 10 weeks of fierce competition. Her platform, Empowered by Purpose, is something she says she's truly looking forward to amping to another level during her reign.
It started digitally. It started with content creation, storytelling that inspires, that impacts in that way. But what I really want to do is more community work to build their confidence, help the girls feel so empowered, so ready to take on the world. And that's something that I want to share to more of the islands and go into schools, go into churches and do the same thing.
The new Miss Universe Bahamas wasn't the only standout of the night. First runner-up, Beyonce Forbes, also of Grand Bahama, walked away with a crown, earning the title of Miss Cosmo Bahamas.
Cosmo is a new title, and so it's not like I have anyone to ask or, relate to in terms of representing the Bahamas, but it's exciting being the first.
National Director of the pageant, Anthony Smith, admitted that this year's group of delegates were the most competitive and diverse group of contestants in the history of the organization.
Now it's open because we have curvy young women competing, all mature women competing. So there's no limitation. The ceiling, is broken. And we're happy because a lot of our Bahamian women, the candidates are taking advantage of that opportunity.
And speaking of diversity, pageant goers witnessed history last night as Marissa Coakley was crowned Miss International Bahamas 2025. She is the first mother and curvy Bahamian woman to win the title.
I was a voice for many. A lot of women, curvy women, they are afraid to showcase, themselves, and they are afraid to come on the national stage. But I broke barriers last night, and I am so excited on this journey. I'm grateful for this opportunity.
Bo, Forbes, and Coakley shared what it means for them all to walk away with titles.
To be a queen, I've realized, means to just show up as your most authentic self.
To have integrity, to stand tall on what you believe in, your morals.
It means more than just beauty. It's having humility for everyone around you.
According to the national director, this is just the beginning, as each of the remarkable women are set to compete on the international pageant stage later this year. Laurencia Smith, Eyewitness News.
Well, congratulations to our 3 new queens. In other news, from coast to coast across the sparkling blue waters of the Bahamas Striping Group of Companies is transforming infrastructure one stripe at a time. Our Delano Roker traveled with the striping team to Exuma and Eleuthera, where their most recent projects are taking place. He's got the latest.
The Bahamas Striping Group of Companies is paving the way for progress. BSGC President Atario Mitchell is leading a massive multi-island initiative, with work now underway on both Exuma and Eleuthera, 2 islands, 1 monumental mission. As the final touches are being made in Exuma, Mitchell says it's all about tailoring their approach to meet the island's unique needs.
So we have about, 6 more miles to complete within this contract. So today we expect to have all of the asphalt completed by the end of June. So the team is pushing to achieve that goal.
With miles of road development already complete, Mitchell explains the strategic process behind getting these large-scale projects done on time and to standard.
Once we put down the fill placement, that typically takes between 5 to 6 days. Then we have to do our testing to make sure that is actually compacted to the right standards, and then we place the asphalt. Once we place the asphalt, we have to let it cure for about 30 days before we can actually put the markings and cat eyes on the surface. So the whole process could range, the complete process could range from I'll say 30 days for striping, and then afterwards we coming back and put the signs in.
Over on Eleuthera, the scale is even larger, and the effort a collaborative one. BSGC has partnered with Quick Fix and New View to complete over 30 miles of road in just 6 months.
Well, for us, we always like to keep our word and executing the project. I think that's one way how we decided to speed up the work. Trying to do everything yourself it draws out the time. But when you share the workload, it allows us to get more done. So as you can see, we have we have a paving crew working, as well as a base crew working. That in itself helps speed up the workload as well. So our intent is to once we get up to full production, to be paving every day. So in order for us to do that, we have to have the base crew well ahead of the paving crew.
But the impact goes far beyond the pavement. Mitchell says BSGC is also investing in the people, employing over 200 workers across both islands, boosting local economies and creating real opportunity for residents.
I think we have 30 miles done so far, and we have 130 miles still left to do. We also doing waterworks as well. So not every area we have to pave. So what we're doing now is we are skipping through the areas that doesn't need the waterworks and getting that area done. So we already have South and North Palmetto Point done. We have Wims's Bight done. Now we're in Waterford and heading into Grand Castle. Next, we're going to go further down on the highway and start working our way up from Benjamin Town, heading up north.
I'm standing in the Waterford settlement on Sherman's Highway, where the future for Eleutherians is near. Bahamas Striping Group of Companies are hard at work developing the new roads. Once the project is completed, over 200 miles of road will be paved between Eleuthera and Exuma. I'm Delano Roker, Eyewitness News.
It's a new era of public service for the Bahamas. The government today provided funding to young Bahamian business professionals to help revolutionize government operations through cutting-edge technology. Our Delano Roker has more in this report.
8 Bahamian business owners walking away with grant funding today to help with the development of their innovative digital solutions. It's a program spearheaded by the Ministry of Economic Affairs with funding through a $30 million initiative launched by the IDB. with $1 million being funneled directly towards the project. Minister of Economic Affairs Michael Alkedet states, the main aim is to ensure the 8 winning business owners redevelop innovative digital solutions to help transform the public service.
Today, we are here not just to celebrate the completion of this program, but to honor the exceptional individuals who brought bold ideas to life, and in doing so, prove to the nation and the world that with the right support, Bahamians can build technology-driven solutions that address real-life public sector challenges.
The selection process originally began with 25 applicants, which then became 12 and concluded with 8 teams. IDB Country Representative Shirley Gale states the institution is committed to development through 3 main objectives.
Intended to reduce the cost and complexity of doing business with government agencies. It pursues 3 strategic objectives. 1, to streamline procedures, making services accessible online, thereby reducing bureaucratic inefficiencies. 2, to increase the adoption of ICT across the public sector. And 3, to enhance transparency and accountability by strengthening audit and control mechanisms.
Another exciting project comes from Bahamas Agricultural Solutions, which was selected as the overall winner of the program. The company has developed a web-based platform to centralize agricultural data, offering digital tools for real-time farm registration, mapping, and statistical tracking. Of the co-founders, Michael Flowers, sharing the system is poised to transform agricultural data management in the Bahamas, enabling better decision-making and promoting sustainable practices in the sector.
Currently, we have a huge disconnect between what's going on in the field and what's happening in administration. So the idea is just to connect it digitally, to create a platform where all of us are working with the same information.
Talana Roker, Eyewitness News.
Well, a major step forward in the recovery process for AML Foods following a devastating fire that destroyed Solomon's Old Trail and Cost-Right locations. In a press statement released today, CEO of AML Foods, Gavin Watchorn, confirmed the demolition and debris removal work has officially began at the site. This comes just 6 weeks after the fire ravaged the property. Now, while the cleanup is underway, AML Foods is working quickly to ensure minimal disruptions to the surrounding community. AML Foods also confirmed that an investigation was conducted following the fire, with site access restricted for several weeks. Once clearance was granted, the company worked to secure contractor bids and the necessary permits to begin demolition. Well, coming up next, our Laurencia Smith has the latest in sports. Laurencia?
Good evening, Janelle. Well, once again, our collegiate athletes are proving why the Bahamas is quite a mile of country. I'll tell you more about it straight ahead in sports.
At the Water and Sewage Corporation, safety and convenience are our top priorities. However, our meter readers face challenges that can make their job difficult. Locked gates to guard dogs sometimes leads to missed readings and estimated bills, which can be frustrating for you and us. That's why we're upgrading to digital meters. They bring safety, accuracy, and convenience to homes across the Bahamas. We can streamline data collection, reduce on-site visits, and provide more accurate bills with no more estimates. Digital meters also help detect leaks early, saving you from costly bills and reducing water waste. Soon, a user-friendly app will let you track your water usage, manage bills, and stay informed, all at your fingertips. Over the next year, we're rolling out digital meters nationwide, transforming how we serve you with a safer and cost-efficient water supply. To learn about our digital meters, visit our website or call us today. And don't forget to update your information at any of our locations.
Comfort Suites Paradise Island is the best-kept secret in the Bahamas. Located directly next door to the Atlantis Resort, you'll receive all the privileges of an Atlantis guest with all the benefits of a Comfort Suite stay. Enjoy everything Atlantis has to offer, including Aquaventure Water Park, plus all the amenities of Comfort Suites. Free Wi-Fi, free breakfast daily, and kids stay, play, and eat free. Visit ComfortSuitesPI.com.
Girl, you know I can't wait to see what Trey's getting me for Valentine's. He said he found the perfect store with teddy bears of all different sizes, jewelry sets with different styles. He said that there are perfume sets to die for. I can't wait to see how he's going to surprise me. He said every delivery comes with a singing telegram. So what's your guy getting you for Valentine's?
Girl, little did you know, my man got my basket from Shop Smart.
Girl, I think that's the store Trey got my basket.
What is it? Huh? Oh, ghost pepper burger. Chicken. I always at Popeyes, so let me just come and taste that chicken. Wow. Nice. Crunchy. This is awesome. Chisholm.
Wow, that is way better than I expected. Very spicy, extremely spicy actually. The bread is very soft. The chicken is juicy. Yeah, that's spicy for sure.
Eyewitness Sports is brought to you by 103.5 The Beat.
Good evening and welcome to another edition of Eyewitness Sports. I'm Laurencia Smith. Thanks for joining us. Topping our sports roundup tonight, we're on the track. Grand Bahamas sprinter Colin Neek Farrington, a junior at Southwest Baptist University, delivering a standout performance on the track to secure not one but two impressive medals at the NCAA Division II Outdoor Track and Field Championships in Colorado over the weekend. Farrington captured the women's 400-meter title with a time of 51.63 seconds, building on a personal best of 51.57 seconds. Farrington captured the women's 400-meter title with a time of 51.63 seconds, building on a personal best of 51.57 seconds set during the heats, while in the 200 meters she crossed the line in a time of 22.84 seconds to earn a silver medal. Clinton also took to the track representing Lincoln University Blue Tigers. The collegiate sophomore delivered a strong performance in the men's 400-meter hurdles, finishing sixth with a personal best time of 50.70 seconds, improving on his 50.92 second run in the heats. All eyes are now turned to the NCAA Division I men's and women's outdoor track and field preliminaries set to kick off May 28th through the 31st. Well, congratulations to all of our collegiate athletes from us here at Eyewitness Sports. Now let's head on over to the baseball diamond. A tough finish for Team Bahamas at the 2025 Pony Baseball Cult 16U Caribbean and Latin America Championships, as a pair of back-to-back losses dashed their hopes to advance to the semifinals with a shot at the World Series. The team dropped a 9-3 game to Ecuador championship squad, and then they came up short again with a 4-1 loss to the Dominican Republic over the weekend. That left Team Bahamas with a 1-3 record in the group play. Not enough to move on. Notwithstanding the setback, head coach Devon Cox remains optimistic. He says it's a young group with a lot of potential, and he's confident that their time is coming soon.
You have a lot of young core dudes that could possibly return next year. I think that now that they have a taste and they know what's like playing, internationally against these other countries, I believe that they'll start to put things together, and that the team next year will be even better than this year.
In the matchup against the Dominican Republic team, shortstop Jordan Archer proved to be a spark at the plate, going 1-3 with an RBI.
I think we could have did a better playing field wise by making our plays and having better communication. The first two games kind of did not went our way. This game should have went our way. From how we started with energy, and then we didn't end with energy.
Also, congratulations to our young future baseball superstars. Well, that's what's making sports at this hour. I'm Laurencia Smith. Stay tuned for more news on the other side of the break.
Why did we decide to put together our country's first nationwide comprehensive energy reforms? We knew that there were no easy answers. BPL was more than $500 million in debt when we came in, operating a failed electricity grid with key components on the verge of collapse. A grid incapable of transmitting solar energy. Changing all of this is a huge project, one that is finally underway. The sky-high bills, the chronic power outages, they've hurt Bahamian families and Bahamian businesses. We are going to leave all of that in the past. We are taking it all on, and transforming energy is going to transform our economy. Go online now to learn more.
In 2010, a grant helped Bahamas striping group of companies get started. Today, that seed has grown into a national force, building roads, airports, and brighter futures. Now, we're leading the way through public-private partnerships, what we call 3Ps, where government vision meets private sector innovation. 3Ps empowers local subcontractors, giving them the chance to bid. And with every contract, we're putting money directly into communities, creating jobs, supporting families, and fueling growth. From roads in Eleuthera to community centers in the inner city, we're not just laying asphalt, we're laying foundations for financial opportunity. At Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, we believe in building more than infrastructure. We're building up Bahamians who build the Bahamas. 3Ps, public-private partnerships for people, progress, and prosperity.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Coming up in Beyond the Headlines with Shanique Miller, more on today's top stories. That's coming up in Beyond the Headlines. That starts right after this. And that does it for us here at Eyewitness News. It's been a pleasure having you all in our company tonight. Once again, on behalf of the entire news team, I'm Janelle Longley saying have a great evening, everyone.
Join us on Social Mania, a new and dynamic game show based on the Ministry of Education's primary and junior high school social studies curriculum. Students from schools across the Bahamas go head-to-head as their knowledge of social studies is challenged. In this episode, LW Young Junior High battles with CH Reeves Junior High. Which school will emerge as winner? To find out, join us as these two schools engage in intense competition. Don't miss it.
Measles is on the rise around the world, and the Bahamas is at risk,
which makes us very vulnerable as a nation for the possible outbreak of measles cases.
Every Saturday in May from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., the Ministry of Health and Wellness will host MMR immunization visits in South Beach, Coconut Grove, Fox Hill, and Elizabeth Estates. Clinics in these areas will remain open until 8 p.m. twice per week. Get your child immunized now.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay Eden well.
Island Luck Sportsbook is taking you to the NBA playoffs. That's right. Every $20 bet placed between February 24th and April 1st earns you an entry to win an all-expense-paid trip to an NBA playoff game. Imagine being in the stands, feeling the energy, and watching your favorite team battle for a championship. The more you bet, the more chances you have to win. So don't miss out. Place your bets now at Island Luck Sportsbook and get ready for the experience of a lifetime. Weekly drawings every Tuesday at 3 p.m. starting March 4th. Visit islandluck.com/sports for more details. Who's ready to fly off to the NBA playoffs?
Tired of driving around from place to place just to get your car insured and licensed? Frustrated with the process of being back and forth from your insurance company to road traffic? Well, BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers just made insuring and licensing your motor vehicle as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1. Visit us at the Road Traffic Department, Section 1, Thomas A. Robinson Sports Stadium. At our office, you can purchase or renew your insurance or get your vehicle inspected. We at BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers represent major carriers. Step 2. See the professionals at Road Traffic to get your vehicle licensed. Step 3. Enjoy your day. Insure with BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers today, saving you time and money. Your one-stop shop for all of your insurance needs. Great rates, convenient, excellent service. For more information, call us at 322-2221.
Need a new car for your business? Well, EV Motors and the Bahamas Development Bank have some news for you.
At the Bahamas Development Bank, we are committed to promoting Bahamian businesses and entrepreneurs. With our green lending program, businesses are able to access up to 100% financing to purchase electric vehicles for commercial and fleet use. We are so excited to partner with EV Motors for this initiative to encourage and empower business owners to drive green.
If you haven't visited our dealership on Tonic Williams Starling Highway as yet, we have a wide variety of brand new EVs from some of your favorite brands like Toyota, BYD, and Mercedes-Benz. As the official distributor of Kerry Commercial Vehicles, we offer a selection of high-performance commercial EVs. Currently, you can purchase the Kerry Cargo Van and the Kerry Elephant Truck, and soon, flatbeds and box trucks for all your business needs.
To access up to 100% financing to purchase an EV for your business, you will need to provide us with a few documents: the business plan or executive summary, business license, historical financials, relevant KYC documents, and the vehicle and insurance quote.
With an interest rate of 6.75% and a repayment period of up to 8 years, you don't want to miss this fantastic opportunity.
To apply, visit our website today at bahamasdevelopmentbank.com or give us a call at 702-5700.
Join us on Social Mania, a new and dynamic game show based on the Ministry of Education's primary and junior high school social studies curriculum. Students from schools across the Bahamas go head-to-head as their knowledge of social studies is challenged. In this episode, LW Young Junior High battles with CH Reeves Junior High. Which school will emerge as winner? To find out, join us as these two schools engage in intense competition. Don't miss it.
Measles is on the rise around the world, and the Bahamas is at risk,
which makes us very vulnerable as a nation for the possible outbreak of measles cases.
Every Saturday in May from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., the Ministry of Health and Wellness will host MMR immunization visits in South Beach, Coconut Grove, Fox Hill, and Elizabeth Estates. Clinics in these areas will remain open until 8 p.m. twice per week. Get your child immunized now.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madeira Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay Eden well.
Island Lux Sportsbook is taking you to the NBA playoffs. That's right. Every $20 bet placed between February 24th and April 1st earns you an entry to win an all-expense-paid trip to an NBA playoff game. Imagine being in the stands, feeling the energy, and watching your favorite team battle for a championship. The more you bet, the more chances you have to win. So don't miss out. Place your bets now at Island Lux Sportsbook and get ready for the experience of a lifetime. Weekly drawings every Tuesday at 3 p.m. starting March 4th. Visit islandlux.com/sports for more details. Who's ready to fly off to the NBA playoffs?
Tired of driving around from place to place just to get your car insured and licensed? Frustrated with the process of being back and forth from your insurance company to road traffic? Well, BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers just made insuring and licensing your motor vehicle as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1. Visit us at the Road Traffic Department, Section 1, Thomas A. Robinson Sports Stadium. At our office, you can purchase or renew your insurance or get your vehicle inspected. We at BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers represent major carriers. Step 2. See the professionals at Road Traffic to get your vehicle licensed. Step 3. Enjoy your day. Insure with BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers today, saving you time and money. Your one-stop shop for all of your insurance needs. Great rates, convenient, excellent service. For more information, call us at 322-2221.
Need a new car for your business? Well, EV Motors and the Bahamas Development Bank have some news for you.
At the Bahamas Development Bank, we are committed to promoting Bahamian businesses and entrepreneurs. With our green lending program, businesses are able to access up to 100% financing to purchase electric vehicles for commercial and fleet use. We are so excited to partner with EV Motors for this initiative to encourage and empower business owners to drive green.
If you haven't visited our dealership on Tonic Williams Styling Highway as yet, we have a wide variety of brand new EVs from some of your favorite brands like Toyota, BYD, and Mercedes-Benz.
The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
Coming up tonight, the Davis administration turned its back on the working class. Well, this is how one of the country's largest umbrella unions feels, saying politics has taken over the labor movement. Also, did you hear about that shooting on Ragged Island? Yeah, you heard me right. As someone said online, wait a minute, you sure you only mean Ragged Island Street? No. Ragged Island, where there are few people and maybe some sheep. Just kidding. But we'll get to the bottom of it. We'll get right into that this evening with the latest from the police. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. Well, here's a question for you. Is politics taking over the labor movement? National Congress of Trade Unions Bahamas President Obi Ferguson says yes, and he's not holding back on this stance. Ferguson is now threatening to boycott this year's Labor Day parade, accusing the Davis administration of turning its back on the working class. In a fiery rebuke, Ferguson says the government has failed to deliver on promises laid out in the Memorandum of Understanding, signed when the Davis-led PLP was still in opposition. The union head says workers feel abandoned. Trade union is getting ready now to take a stand.
They know if I lie, and they know if politicians lie. Twice the minister said 90-something% of what's on the MOU has been completed. Well, you can complete some of the most important people in the country to look after my wealth, my health, and your health. You're fighting for over 4 years to give them a basic contract. And we say we are interested in Bahamas. And what are we doing for Bahamas? What are you doing for Bahamas? You're not providing them with a sensible salary. You're not providing them with a health and care. Affiliates will not be a part of no march. What you marching for? You gotta fight to get what you got. You talking about march? We're gonna celebrate Surrender Folks Labor Day. We can celebrate it right down on Wolf Road. in that dilapidated building. We're going to go right there.
Well, those words, I tell you, Obie Ferguson, I've never seen him so strong. This is really, really wild. I want to say before we begin this evening that I made several attempts to have any member of the TUC on this show this evening. Some said that they were not authorized to speak, while others had other obligations. And so joining me this evening is a union president who's under the NCTU, that NCTUB, the other umbrella union, Sherry Benjamin. Sherry Benjamin is president of the BCPOU. Good evening to you. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you here. Have you ever seen Obie Ferguson so worked up?
I have. He's very passionate when he speaks. So yeah, I've seen him. I don't know if it's just worked up, him being worked up. He's just very passionate when he speaks.
When did labor relations and negotiations between the government and the unions that make up the TUC reach this point of a stalemate?
Well, I can't speak for that. He is the president of the Commonwealth Bahamas Trade Union Congress. The National Congress of Trade Unions Bahamas is president. Our president is Mr. Dwayne Woods. So just a little small correction there. I can't say that it has reached a stalemate. For the most part, when the government came into power, they came in with a mandate. And as a part of that mandate, it was to engage unions. It started with Minister Keith Bell. He had quarterly meetings with all of the congresses. There are 3 congresses, and they met with all of the congresses at different points every quarter. All of the issues that the congresses had were laid out on the table.
This is before being elected?
This is since they were elected.
So you're saying there have been ongoing meetings even when Keith Bell sat in the chair as Minister of Labor?
Actually it started under the FNM with Minister Dion folks. Then when Minister Keith Bell came in, he took it to another level. And then of course, Minister Clover Rhodes, she is even built on that even more. They're very, very responsive. The former Director of Labor, the current Director of Labor, and the Minister have been very, very responsive to the National Congress of Trade Unions Bahamas. And so
well, then have they ignored the TUC then?
Well, I can't say if you as a government already signed over 56 contracts, industrial agreements, or was responsible for making sure that those industrial agreements were signed. I can't see how you could say they're not being responsive. It may be that you're not getting what you want. I'm right now negotiating 2 additional contracts, and I have my issues with the entities because they are both government entities, but I'm not going to let that stop me and my members from marching on Labor Day because Labor Day is not for the government. It is for the workers of this country.
So you're trying to say Obie Ferguson is wrong to rob the workers, his members who fall under those various unions, of this right that was fought for by Sir Randolph Fox and others to not be on that parade on Labor Day?
I think it's a slap in the face to the Fox family, because he would have fought long and hard to give us Black people, Bahamian people, the right to march in the street and celebrate, because maybe before I was born or when I was a child, most Black people didn't have the right to work in certain sectors in this country. And so he would have fought to give us the right to be able to celebrate being able to work in any sector in this country. And so I think it's a slap in the face to tell a worker that, because you have an issue with the government, that you're not going to go out and march, because you're not marching for the government. You're not marching, I don't care whether it's PLP or FNM or COI, they're not going to stop me from marching because I'm not out there marching for them. I am out there marching and celebrating what Sir Randall Fox folks
stood for and
what
stood,
he fought
yes.
so hard for.
Well, let's just dissect a lot of what Ferguson had to say, because it really was not, he did not mince words. He said, listen, the government is playing politics with the union. It's turned union and labor relations into a political game. Has this Davis administration turned the labor relations and industrial relations into politics, or has O.B. Ferguson turned it into politics?
I don't know what Mr. Ferguson has in his mind, what is in his head, so I can't speak to what he feels. But all I can say is that from looking, I'm seeing that his affiliates are getting their industrial agreement signed. They're getting their needs met. Just
which affiliates of his?
Just recently, you had the nurses union, or the doctors union. The doctors union. Just this week made an agreement.
But that's one. So how many others?
Again, out of the 56 contract that was signed, I am sure at least half of them come from Mr. Ferguson's.
And you are saying this obviously because you are not under that umbrella union, so
No,
you don't
I'm not.
necessarily pay attention to
Right.
what happens there.
Right.
Okay, well, let's look at the umbrella union that you are part of. How many agreements, how far have you all, what is the relationship like with the Ministry of Labor and Department of Labor as it relates to you all?
I can say for the NCTUB, the government has been very responsive to us. It's not that we have everything rosy and everything laid out on a platter for us. We have to fight, but our fight is done through social dialogue. We stay to the table, and sometimes it means that you have to make a little bit of noise to get what you want, but you have to stay to the table. And that's important as a trade unionist, to be at the table and to make sure that you're fighting with the right intentions, and which should be your members first.
Right.
That should be your biggest priority, your members first. Me personally, this is my second term as president of the BCPOU, and in my first term, I would have signed 5 contracts, 5 industrial agreements.
Oh.
Just in my first 3 years. I'm now working on 2 additional agreements, which will take me to 7. And when I start on the 3rd one, I just recently got another entity under the BCPOU. And so when I start on that, that will make 3 industrial agreements. And all of that is being aided by the fine folks at the Department of Labor. So I cannot say at any given opportunity, when we reached out to them, they are very responsive. We have a group of young, dynamic trade union leaders under the NCTUB, and all of them, some of them are very, very new to trade unionism, but they are being aided by the folks at the Department of Labor. Whatever they need training with, whatever they need coaching with, the fine folks at the Department of Labor always show up and help out wherever it's needed. The Director of Labor, while he may be new to the labor front, he has fully engulfed himself into labor matters and trying to work with unions. For me and him, it started out a bit rocky where, sometimes I could be a hard pill to swallow sometimes. But he realized my heart and the fact that I was fighting for my members. And right now, if I pick up the phone and I call him, if he doesn't take my call, I can guarantee you he's going to call me back. And then we still have Mr. Robert Farquharson, the immediate past Director of Labor. Anytime any trade union leader calls out to Mr. Farquharson, he's always there to assist. Then you have Mr. Quentin LaRota. He also serves in the in the Department of Labor. Again, someone always willing to assist. Ms. Yolantha Yallop, the new registrar, always, right now I have her, I said to her last week when we were at the conclave, I said to her, we have another union that is forming and I need your assistance and guidance with that union. And she was like, no problem, you know.
So you're giving the impression that the people in the Ministry and Department of Labor are there to assist, are willing to work along with these negotiations and get them at least moving in the right direction.
I do believe that, and while I know some people may not like all of the people at the Labor Consultant Unit for Department of not labor, public service.
Yes.
That unit has been instrumental in closing a number of industrial agreements that have been going on where we've been negotiating for years. And through their intervention, they were able to mediate and bring closure to those industrial agreements. And that is headed by Mr. Bernard Evans. And I think that he and his team are doing an awesome job there. So anyone who's trying to discount the fact that the government is being responsive, and I'm not saying that because of any political affiliation or anything.
Well, speaking of political affiliation, one of the union presidents I reached out to today, as I said, I reached out to several because I wanted to have a well-balanced presentation this evening where different points of view were expressed. One said, listen, Mr. Ferguson was very friendly with this administration initially. I guess when you're talking about the coming together with the MOU, he was the one, this is the union president, who pulled other unions together to get them to see the wisdom of signing the MOU. And then it all got to this point.
Well, I wouldn't say that I'll throw that at him alone. He, along with the then president of the NCTUB, Mr. Bernard Evans, it was something that they discussed together and they formulated a plan to ensure that whichever party that wanted to form the government, that they had to protect the rights of workers in this country. And so we, as a Congress, both Congresses, decided that, you know, we will lend our voices and support for anyone who supports us. So the MOU was thrown out to all of the political parties. All of the political parties. The PLP was the one that came back and engaged the unions.
Oh,
and
that is how that happened.
They were the ones who engaged the union and say, if we win the government, this is what we're prepared to do. And there was some things that they checked off. And then there was things that, you know, you had to negotiate. However, the other political parties had the same opportunity. I'm not going to say that, and like I said too at the start, when Dion Fawkes was Minister of Labor, I praised him as well because we had a very good relationship with him. He was tremendous towards unions. So it's not being political. When you have leaders who understand their assignment and who are actually doing what they were put there to do, you have to give them the credit. Now, not because you're not getting what you want at that. You can't get everything. You're not ever going to get everything you want. And sometimes things take a little bit more time to develop and to get to a point where you're comfortable with it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't go to the point where I would say, not march, not celebrate the workers in this country, because Bahamians are going to be lining the streets waiting to see the workers in this country celebrating themselves.
Waiting to see themselves. Yeah. Is the Davis administration anti-labor or against the working class Bahamian? Because this is something that O.B. Ferguson also said, that this Davis administration don't care about working class Bahamians.
I wouldn't agree with that. I wouldn't agree with that. Are they perfect? No. There are things that they can work on, but I wouldn't say that they are against the working class because, again, you have a minister, I think the Prime Minister used wisdom in choosing the right person to take over the Ministry of Labor, someone who is not up in the class, because there are some of those PLP members of parliament that if I could campaign to cause them to lose the election, I would do that. Their seat, I would do so because they're lousy, right? They are completely lousy. But Minister Pia Glover Roll is not one of them.
She shows up and is willing to do
I'm telling
work.
you, and she is not up in the clouds where, you know, when they get in these seats, they get all high and mighty, and they look down at the persons who actually put them there. She's working. She is working, and when you reach out to her with any concerns, I'll tell you, my first interaction with her, because I'd never met the young lady before in my life. My first interaction with her was when we were negotiating Zetna's contract, and at that point, it had stalled. We had already completed the contract, and it had stalled. And I met her at when Samir Badi, our CEO at BTC, when he came in and they did the meet and greet for Samir. And she said to me at that meeting, when she was introduced to me, she said to me at that meeting, she said, give me until Friday and I'm going to look over the stuff and get with my labor relations unit and I will get back to you. I can tell you, around 10 p.m. Friday evening, she sent me a message and she said, I know I committed to getting back to you today. However, there was a bit of a hiccup, but I promise you, I will have an update for you tomorrow. And Saturday, without fail, she was on my phone with an update to say, Madam President, this is where we're at, and I promise you that we will do it. And the thing is, the commitment, a woman that honored her word, and she gave my respect just for that, because she said, by Friday, I will get back to you. And even though it was late Friday, and I really didn't have any faith that she would, but Friday she got back to me, and everything fell right in line. When she said she was going to do it, she did it. And
does Obi Ferguson want the government to build a new labor headquarters? This is what is being said.
Well, I do believe that that building is in some serious need of repairs.
So who's responsible for building it?
Should the government repair it?
Or repairing it?
I don't know. It is a historical building, so maybe the government may see the wisdom in trying to help preserve the building, but I don't know if they should completely restore it or they should be responsible for completely restoring it.
By the way, this is the Memorandum of Understanding. It's a little worn, but yeah, this is it right here. It has, 22 points.
That's not.
Oh, this is not?
No.
No? So this says Memorandum of Understanding between the Joint Labor Movement consisting of Commonwealth of the Bahamas Trade Union Congress and National Congress of Trade Unions Bahamas and the Progressive Liberal Party. This was just obviously a working document. Okay.
It's a small version of the real document.
Yeah.
I guess.
Well, we will watch out and see what's going on. This was the worst kept secret because people were sort of whispering this since the weekend that the TUC says they are boycotting the Labor Day March. We will see what happens. Of course, Labor Day is next Friday. We will see exactly what it is that they do. But thank you very much, President of the BCPOU, Sherry Benjamin, for stopping by this evening.
But I want to say, sorry, Shanique,
yes.
I want to say before I go, any trade union that
right here, speak right here.
Any trade union that wants to come out and be on the march, we are welcoming you to come out. Do not let the work that the Randall folks did go in vain. Please come out and celebrate yourself on the march. I'm not asking you to be disrespectful to your leader. You could respect the chair, but you have an obligation to your members beyond being obligated to your leader. So if you're willing to come out and march, please do so, feel free. The space is going to be there available for you to come out and join us.
This is Beyond the Headlines. We are back right after this.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Call now to get more of the care you need.
You work hard to provide for and protect the ones you love. However, life can present unexpected challenges. Who you call in times of need matters. Insurance Management is a Bahamian-owned company that has been serving our community for over 40 years, offering a wide range of coverage for all of your personal, professional, and commercial needs. When life happens, rest easy knowing that our skilled and experienced agents are there for you in your time of need, so that you can get back to what matters most. Insurance Management. Nobody does it better.
Sizzling summer savings start early at Grand Bahama Tiles with a 25% off store-wide sale. This Friday, May 2nd and Saturday, May 3rd, catch the savings and upgrade your home decor early with sizzling summer deals. And don't miss our 35%, 40%, and 60% off summer clearance corner. It's a hot, sizzling summer store-wide sale at Grand Bahama Tiles. Call them at 352-7920. Some restrictions apply.
Measles is on the rise around the world, and the Bahamas is at risk,
which makes us very vulnerable as a nation for the possible outbreak of measles cases.
Every Saturday in May from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., the Ministry of Health and Wellness will host MMR immunization visits in South Beach, Coconut Grove, Fox Hill, and Elizabeth Estates. Clinics in these areas will remain open until 8 p.m. twice per week. Get your child immunized now.
Island Luck Sportsbook is taking you to the NBA playoffs. That's right. Every $20 bet placed between February 24th and April 1st earns you an entry to win an all-expense-paid trip to an NBA playoff game. Imagine being in the stands, feeling the energy, and watching your favorite team battle for a championship. The more you bet, the more chances you have to win. So don't miss out. Place your bets now at Island Luck Sportsbook and get ready for the experience of a lifetime. Weekly drawings every Tuesday at 3 p.m. starting March 4th. Visit islandluck.com/sports for more details. Who's ready to fly off to the NBA playoffs?
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Call now to get more of the care you need.
You work hard to provide for and protect the ones you love. However, life can present unexpected challenges. Who you call in times of need matters. Insurance Management is a Bahamian-owned company that has been serving our community for over 40 years, offering a wide range of coverage for all of your personal, professional, and commercial needs. When life happens, rest easy knowing that our skilled and experienced agents are there for you in your time of need, so that you can get back to what matters most. Insurance Management. Nobody does it better.
Sizzling summer savings start early at Grand Bahama Tiles with a 25% off store-wide sale. This Friday, May 2nd and Saturday, May 3rd, catch the savings and upgrade your home decor early with sizzling summer deals. And don't miss our 35%, 40%, and 60% off summer clearance corner. It's a hot, sizzling summer store-wide sale at Grand Bahama Tiles. Call them at 352-7920. Some restrictions apply.
Measles is on the rise around the world and the Bahamas is at risk,
which makes us very vulnerable as a nation for the possible outbreak of measles cases.
Every Saturday in May from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., the Ministry of Health and Wellness will host MMR immunization visits in South Beach, Coconut Grove, Fox Hill, and Elizabeth Estates. Clinics in these areas will remain open until 8 p.m. twice per week. Get your child immunized now.
Island Luck Sportsbook is taking you to the NBA playoffs. That's right. Every $20 bet placed between February 24th and April 1st earns you an entry to win an all-expense-paid trip to an NBA playoff game. Imagine being in the stands, feeling the energy, and watching your favorite team battle for a championship. The more you bet, the more chances you have to win. So don't miss out. Place your bets now at Island Luck Sportsbook and get ready for the experience of a lifetime. Weekly drawings every Tuesday at 3 p.m. starting March 4th. Visit islandluck.com/sports for more details. Who's ready to fly off to the NBA playoffs?
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Call now to get more of the care you need.
You work hard to provide for and protect the ones you love. However, life
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you continue to join us. We're going to get right into the Hot Topics panel discussion with my contributors, Leslie Miller and Ellington Ferguson. Gentlemen, good evening to both of you. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. It's great to have you both here.
Good evening, Shanique. Good evening, Bahamas. Certainly, it's a pleasure to be here once again.
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it's good to have you both. Let's just jump right in. The TUC is really threatening to shake up this Labor Day parade. You all heard Obie Ferguson in the clip that we showed at the top of tonight's show, basically laying out his case as to why he does not, and his, along with his membership of affiliate unions, do not want to participate in the Labor Day parade because this government is coming up short when it comes to I guess, meeting them where they need to be met and negotiating industrial agreements. Your thoughts on claims of this administration having politics interfere with labor relations, of this administration not caring for the working class Bahamian by Ferguson's statements?
Shanique, there's one thing to say that the government is not or has not done all of you want them to do versus saying that they're doing nothing. It's evident, it's been in the news. You've heard the union leader that spoke to you earlier, talked about the number of agreements that have been signed by the government and some of those being within her own umbrella, which I'm sure some others were within Mr. Ferguson's umbrella. I think when it has always been, it's been labor march for the people, governments, both Progressive Liberal Party and Free National Movement have always had their marches. I think to deprive the workers of the country who you represent of marching because the Progressive Liberal Party is marching, I think you're getting out of what you're really supposed to be about. You're not. This has nothing to do with you fighting for the people. This is what the people go out to celebrate and to march for all that has been fought for, all of the achievement that have been made, all of the achievement that the father of labor has achieved, and the continuous achievement for laborers in this country. And so you're basically depriving them of that because the Progressive Liberal Party is going to have a Labor Day march. These are PLPs. These are also workers. Workers are involved in political parties also. So I think he's going down a slippery slope that takes him out of the zone of being a labor leader of being out of the zone of what he's fighting for. Your negotiations may not be all completed. They may not even be going as fast as you think they should go. But like the previous lady said, that you got to continue to fight. You got to continue to be at it. This is an ongoing process. After you finish with this contract in a few years, you're going to be at the table again, trying to get better for your union, trying to work out better for these same contracts. So no, I don't subscribe to that, him withholding his people from the Labor Day March. Let these workers go out and march and celebrate.
You know, when you consider the fact that these marches, the Labor Day March has been going on since 1962, some may say it's political during that period, because that's when black Bahamians were looking to fight for majority rule. They were misused and abused in the labor force. That was a different situation then. That's when the late great Sir Randall Fox rose to the occasion with his union, with his men and women who had the fortitude to fight against the white establishment back then and gave us our freedom as a people and helped establish the Bahamas what it is today. Now, why the good gentleman want to turn it into a political entity is a different story only him one could answer. First of all, it is the fact that more than 70% of the union contracts that were negotiated has already been completed. More than 70%. What they want is a livable wage. Now, the problem with that is the University of Bahamas came up with this study that this livable wage is some $26,000 a year. Unfortunately, most companies, and certainly not the government itself, can afford those numbers at this time. But bear in mind that the first thing the Honorable Prime Minister Philip Davis did, he increased the minimum wage for all Bahamians across the board. And he's made life easier for Bahamians in every facet of their lives as working Bahamians. But again, you know, this is the political season, so you have fellas who can play the political game. You can't get what you want when you want it. So what you do, you march or you complain about it, and you say this one isn't doing what you want him to do.
So you think that this is nothing but a flex to say, listen, you all know what's right up around the corner, the election. Either you do this or.
That's all it is. Just it's threatening the government that you're not going to march. But this is not a PLP march. This is a march for the entire workers in the Bahamas. And I assure you, there will be a full crowd on that march, whether his union decide to participate or not. So it's up to him, really, to call the shots. And I'm not sure he has the ability or the wherewithal to call the shots for all of the other unions. That's another problem, whether they're going to follow his lead. But I think at the end of the day, most of the unions are going to be out there participating if they have already been doing for the last, plus 50 years.
This is about
I don't
workers,
say any changes. Not to do with no personalities.
Yeah.
Or
it's
no
about
government.
the workers of this country.
Gentlemen, I want to move this along. I imagine you, like most Bahamians, were shocked to hear that there was a shooting on Ragged Island. Not sure of what the population is, not even sure if it's 100 people.
About 120.
100, you sure about that?
There are a lot of little babies, small children.
Yeah.
Not many grown-ups.
You know, and the thing is, and so just a sprinkling of people, maybe some wildlife. And just, I imagine one of those very peaceful hubs in the Bahamas that still exist. Imagine then a shooting. So here it is. I got this information from in the newsroom just before the show. So reports indicate that a group of men were gathered outside a residence when a male suspect allegedly discharged a firearm in the area. No injuries were reported, but property was damaged during the incident. A 21-year-old has surrendered to the authorities and was arrested. A licensed firearm was confiscated and the suspect taken to Exuma for safekeeping. And the suspect transported to Exuma for safekeeping. The investigation is ongoing. But you all, your thoughts about this? I mean, okay, fine, it was a licensed firearm, but you know, the point about it is that people can be so careless, and that could have been a different story. Had somebody so irresponsible, obviously whoever it is that had this firearm was really not qualified to have it, to have gone and have it licensed.
There are people, Shanique, sometimes that has these things, and they tend to use it for the wrong purpose. They show off with it, if I may use that term, and want to impress people that I have this is what I have. And obviously, this is somebody that lacks the responsibility to hold a firearm license. I'm sure that they would have gone through the necessary protocol and all that the police department puts you through to get a firearm. But obviously, they were able to survive that. But they definitely not they're not responsible enough to hold a firearm, and I'm sure that this will be confiscated and they should be face the full brunt of the law, because like you say, this could have gone another way. We've heard of incidents where a firearm accidentally went off. What are you doing with firearm in the midst of people? I mean, what are you doing discharging shots? I mean, what happened? Are you threatening somebody, or just having it there, just firing the shot? Something could have gone wrong.
Absolutely.
Tonight we could have had another murder on our hands. So this person should face the full brunt of the law. Thank God no one was hurt. This license should be revoked permanently. Never again could you ever get a license to hold a firearm in this country.
Well, there's no doubt in my mind that he never got a license for the firearm, probably owned by an older person who lived at a residence. You know, these fellas, like you said, like to show off and show people that they have ammunition. Hopefully the law will take its course and set an example out of him, that you don't have the right to threaten another person's life. That can commit discharge and kill someone. And we can't take it lightly. And I think he needs to feel the full brunt of the law, that you're not allowed to do these things and face the penalties that would be placed upon him. So that's a good learning experience for other persons like him, to realize that that's not a toy you have in your hand. That's something that could take a life. And we had enough lives taken in that manner for the year. Eh?
Yeah.
So let's hope that he
just
learned from this
happy is
lesson.
not a different set of news we're discussing, but again, it's just irresponsible and should not happen. So he's in custody, and it's a good thing. Well, of course, a number of people are paying attention to this budget. The budget presentation happens on Wednesday. Now, Minister of Economic Affairs Michael Alkitis is assuring the public that there will be no new taxes, no tax increases on the horizon. The Prime Minister will share key successes from various ministries and an outlined plan for the administration for the upcoming fiscal calendar.
There has been, over the last 4 years, there's a lot of, chatter about taxes, and this government, this administration took the position from the very beginning, even before coming to office, that we were better served by reducing taxes, not raising taxes. And the proof has been in the pudding. We've reduced VAT from 12% to 10%, and then we went further during this last mid-year budget to reduce it on food, all food, from 10% to 5%. Customs duties, progressively reducing those from coming to office. And so we believe that we are better served, not only in terms of helping to reduce the cost of living, but in promoting economic growth, if we have, particularly, what has been on the mind of people is the tariff policy coming out of the U.S. and how that will affect global trade. How will that affect us? What that means for us in terms of our public finances. And so we'll have that discussion. But I think all in all, bottom line, it would be an update on where we've come so far, what we project, and I think the government is encouraged by the performance. But we also recognize that there's a lot of work left to be done. Things like the cost of living are still at the forefront on the minds of Bahamians, and we continue to explore ways that we can impact that in a positive way. And so during the course of the debate, you'll hear more about the energy reform and how we expect those savings that people are experiencing to continue. I know there has been some discussion about whether it's only a temporary fall. So we'll be able to delve more into that, more into how the government intends to grow the economy continually, investment in infrastructure, healthcare, etc. So the communication is the update and the forecast, and then during the course of the debate over the next 3 weeks, you would get an opportunity to hear from all of the ministers on what they're doing and what they plan to do.
Michael Alkeidas, Economic Affairs Minister. Thank you so much, Carlisle. It's good working with him tonight, right? You guys been hearing him. Really, Carlisle is so good to have you there. Not saying anything about Justin, but it's good to have you there. Gentlemen, a lot of people are saying, listen, there need to be some key focuses in this budget, this 2025-2026 budget. People are even dubbing it the election budget. What are some areas? We know last week we had some of the other panelists shared that, listen, housing has to be a focus. Cost of living remains an issue for so many people. How does this administration need to sort of frame its focus moving forward into an election year?
I think, Shanique, the government going to have to be very clear on what they do going forward. Minister Alkeidas spoke to the fact that they have been lowering taxes, and yes, they have been lowering taxes on some taxes on duty, some they've been lowering the VAT. We had two spate of the VAT lowering from 12 to 10% and then from 10 to 5% on grocery items, uncooked grocery items, that is. And so, yes, they're going to have to be clear in their deliberation during this budget debate. They're going to have to show Bahamian in a greater way how they're benefiting from the things that are happening. We want to see, you talked about housing, you talked about education, we talk about Ministry of National Security. That needs a lot of work. We're going to have to see how this budget helps that. We talk about the Department of the Police and the Fire Department. There's been talk about separating those two. Is that going to happen? If not, what kind of allocation we want to see? I'm sure Bahamians are going to be looking specifically to see what kind of allocation is being put into the fire department as it relates to getting some new fire engines. We're talking about health care. Okay, we're talking about the shortage of ambulances. So we want to see what's happening there as it relates to healthcare. We want to see some of the projects that the government spoke about. We want to see some timelines of them coming up out of the ground. The hospital in Grand Bahamas, they talk about the new hospital here in New Providence. And so we want to, the Bahamians are expecting to see some tangibles in this budget, some things that's going to impact their lives and touch their lives. And that is very, very important. So the government has got to be very clear as they present this budget so that people can understand it, people can see themselves benefiting in it. When you hear these things coming from this government, if you doesn't see how it helps you, how it uplifts you, how it advances you, how it put money in your pocket, then the Bahamian people would not be able to receive it.
I think this budget must contain the two basic tenets that's crippling the average Bahamian right now. Number one is the cost of housing. Number two, social services. Those places that have dropped under the radar financially. But paramount is housing. The cost of living in this country, the cost of rental, the cost of getting a home is so out of the way for the average ordinary Bahamian that the Ministry of Housing must be given a much bigger budget. The repairs that is needed in the country, in New Providence, and in those family islands too that had the hurricane, Grand Bahamas as well as Abaco, they need upgrading, and it's taking so long to do these things. It's that simple, but it takes forever. When your house has been destroyed in a hurricane and what have you, people are still grappling with that. The high cost of living, the cost in the food store. Now the government's going to safely put down the duty on a lot of food items. The problem is most of the time the food stores don't transfer those cost savings to the shelves. They keep it for themselves. That's been my experience for the last 50 years in politics. It doesn't trickle down to the average Bahamian, and that's going to be a problem. So I'm so glad that the Consumer Affairs Division is now more vigilant than they were before, that they would see to it, I believe, Mr. Rule and his group, that the passings would be generated down to the average ordinary Bahamian. I look forward to the budget. I think we need to look at more import substitution entities to be established in this country. The government needs to pay more attention to supporting local industries and those places that produce products that we don't need to import. The government needs to stamp it and put its full weight behind it and not allow the Ministry of Works and these other corporations to purchase imported products instead of helping the local domestic products that produce in this country.
Well,
They are vital.
all
for our
eyes will
survival.
be glued to what the Prime Minister has to say on Wednesday. And then, of course, once it's all sort of fleshed out and broken down into various ministries and what those ministers have to say in terms of how they're going to use their allocation. I tell you, this budget is very important. You heard a mouthful from both these gentlemen here. But we're going to take a break. You all remember that supposed threat to come at Andros on a primary school campus to shoot the principal and the janitress? Well, we have an update for you. Don't go anywhere. Beyond the Headlines is back after this.
So my name is Dr. Sophia Roll. I'm the resident artist for the Via Hamea Art House and Gallery. This is not something that I've gone to school for, if you will. I'm a professor. I recently got into art in 2015 because it was something that I always wanted to do. I saw something about fluid art, the abstract expressionism of fluid art really drew me. And so I'm always thinking now about art. I see the world through art. So that is, for me, very, very gratifying, very, very satisfying. So receiving the Women's Initiative grant really impacted the business because it allowed me to see in that I could have taken my craft, my art, outside of the gallery walls and really maximizing on some of the training, some of the skills that we learned. The advice that I would give to not only women, but anyone who's interested in starting a small business or starting a business is to just get started. You have to take the first step. And if you take the first step, you'd be amazed at how far you can continue to walk in that space.
For more information about how the SBDC can help your small business to make a big impact, give us a call at 461-7232 or visit sbdcbahamas.com.
Tired of driving around from place to place just to get your car insured and licensed? Frustrated with the process of being back and forth from your insurance company to road traffic? Well, BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers just made insuring and licensing your motor vehicle as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1. Visit us at the Road Traffic Department, Section 1, Thomas A. Robinson Sports Stadium. At our office, you can purchase or renew your insurance or get your vehicle inspected. We at BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers represent major carriers. Step 2. See the professionals at Road Traffic to get your vehicle licensed. Step 3. Enjoy your day. Insure with BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers today, saving you time and money. Your one-stop shop for all of your insurance needs. Great rates, convenient, excellent service. For more information, call us at 322-2221.
Need a new car for your business? Well, EV Motors and the Bahamas Development Bank have some news for you.
At the Bahamas Development Bank, we are committed to promoting Bahamian businesses and entrepreneurs. With our green lending program, businesses are able to access up to 100% financing to purchase electric vehicles for commercial and fleet use. We are so excited to partner with EV Motors for this initiative to encourage and empower business owners to drive green.
If you haven't visited our dealership on Tonic Williams Styling Highway as yet, we have a wide variety of brand new EVs from some of your favorite brands like Toyota, BYD, and Mercedes-Benz. As the official distributor of Kerry commercial vehicles, we offer a selection of high-performance commercial EVs. Currently, you can purchase the Kerry Cargo Van and the Kerry Elephant Truck, and soon flatbeds and box trucks for all your business needs.
To access up to 100% financing to purchase an EV for your business, you will need to provide us with a few documents: the business plan or executive summary, business license, historical financials, relevant KYC documents, and the vehicle and insurance quote.
With an interest rate of 6.75% and a repayment period of up to 8 years, you don't want to miss this fantastic opportunity.
To apply, visit our website today at bahamasdevelopmentbank.com or give us a call at 702-5700.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. Well, quickly, parents of the Clara E. Evans Primary School in Andros held a protest standing in solidarity after an investigation was launched into a teacher at the institution following an Eyewitness News exclusive last week, as parents called for action to be taken against the staff following a reported firearm threat. This happened after an argument reportedly with another colleague. Parents also claimed the teacher mishandled students frequently, citing unprofessional and hostile behavior, alleging that the environment is not safe for their children. During the protest, parents lined up on the outside of the school, making it clear the action they hope education officials take.
They, on one accord, for one purpose and one purpose alone.
Yes.
Our sign says, our kids' safety matters.
It does. Yes.
Every parent that has a child know what it feels like when their child's life is in danger. Yes. And right now, the parents that stand behind me and those that are on their way feel the same. Yes. We stand here united and we will not take no for an answer. Got to go. Got to.
Those parents say he has to go. I'll tell you this, Beyond the Headlines spoke with the teacher in question last week. He said, listen, he's been to several schools. His reputation is spotless. But what he does not do is take shortcuts. He challenges his students. He goes by the book. And this is what it is that parents are resisting. Is he telling the truth? I mean, because they would go in the hot sun with placards in tow to protest against him. I mean, you all, these parents are obviously not trying to stand down until they get what they want.
Well, Shanique, I would hope that by now, from last week until now, that we would have heard something from the Ministry of Education. We don't know the real truth about this. You said that the gentleman denied that this actually happened. Something happened. And we need to know, was there, he talked to you about his strong stance and his firmness and all of that, but did an altercation take place between him and another colleague? Were there words exchanged?
In the heat of the moment?
In the heat of the moment, what were those words? We don't need to necessarily know about you being a disciplinarian and all of that. We want to know what happened, what transpired between you and the gentleman and his colleague to cause this kind of reaction from the parents. Did those words actually was said levied against him? So I would expect something coming from the Ministry of Education on this, so that the Bahamian people can be comfortable as to the actions that is being taken or whether this is true or not.
I would second. I think just wait for the Ministry of Education to complete their investigation and see where it leads us.
It's been more than a week, though.
Some people should be as forceful as he is. Again, you have to appreciate the circumstances, but you wouldn't know until the investigation is finished. Eh? So
I mean, if indeed, and the investigation is ongoing, so these are strictly opinions being shared, but if he is a strict disciplinarian...
No problem with that.
Exactly. Because isn't the national GPA still hovering around, somewhere around E?
D.
And so the thing about it is, let the man be as strict as he needs to let them learn. And then, of course, obviously, if he made threats, then that's another matter. But the thing is, he needs to be he and any other teacher need to be as strict as they necessarily need to be on any school campus. Because these kids are obviously, they're into other things right now, and they need to get back in shape to be able to compete and make this nation and take this nation in the direction that we all desire to go.
And I support that wholeheartedly. So that's why.
And the parents really shouldn't become that involved.
I don't think you can say that, Mr. Miller. That they should not. You and Shanique don't know the real circumstances. And that's why we're saying, and Shanique said it, the disciplinary part, if that's it, we stand for that. But if those words were exchanged, that's a whole other issue. So we can't say whether the parents should be there or not, because they know more than we know what transpired.
I just said they should have waited for the ministry to complete the investigation and give a report. But don't rush to judgment on the man.
Yeah, well, obviously they I don't know if he's going to even feel comfortable being there.
If you take sides with these kids sometimes and they're wrong, they're going to figure that that's what they should be doing.
Yeah.
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, well, we'll continue to watch that story and see how that all shapes up. I thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you to the president of the BCPOU, Sherry Benjamin, at the top of tonight's show. And of course, here, the Hot Topics panelists, Leslie Miller and Ellington Ferguson. And thanks to all of you who tuned in this evening. It's really awesome having you here. Look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow evening. And for the entire team here at Beyond the Headlines, I'm Shanique Miller. Make it a great evening, everyone.
Good night.